Spoiler alert. I mean, honestly, if you listen to this podcast, spoilers.
Spoilers.
I thought you said everything would be all right.
That's because I thought I was leaving.
So we're in a mess.
It's the understatement of the century.
We're in a mess that you've created.
That's one point of view, yes.
And you expect, what, sympathy?
People of the universe, please attend carefully. The message which follows is of vital importance to you all. We present to you a case study of one of the most dangerous minds in the universe. A history of the lives and times of the renegade Time Lord known as the Master.
The Master.
Call me Master.
The choice is simple. Join us and continue listening, or face total annihilation.
Listen.
They are the Master, and you will obey them.
You will obey me.
Please attend carefully. Hello and welcome to Please Attend Carefully, the Doctor Who podcast about the most magisterial of malefactors. I'm Ciarán Moffatt.
And I'm Amber Patrick.
And each week we bring you a chapter from the lives and times of the renegade Time Lord known universally as the Master. This week we will be looking at Sympathy for the Devil, a 2003 Big Finish audio story written by Johnathan Clements. Amber, do you want to tell us what this is about, or do you want me to explain where this falls?
I'll tell us what it's about, and then we'll dig into the details.
Sure.
In this alternate timeline, the Doctor never arrived on Earth in the 70s, and the Master has now defected to China after the events of Mind of Evil. Taking on the alias Keller, he used more Keller machines and brain parasites to create the Keller division. Fast forward 20 years, and he's defecting back to England. However, when he arrives, he isn't expecting to finally run into his old friend, the Doctor.
Okay, so breaking this down. This is from a series from Big Finish in 2003 called Doctor Who Unbound. It's 2023. We're familiar with the idea of multiverses, and we're also very familiar with the idea of what-if stories. So each episode in this series is what if. So the first one of the series is what if the Doctor never left Gallifrey? This one is, what if the Doctor was never Unit Scientific Advisor? So, the War Games.
Mm-hmm.
The Time Lords tell the Doctor that he has to change his face and he will be exiled to Earth. Now, in Spearhead from Space, the first Third Doctor story, he lands in the 1970s/80s. I'm not getting into that. And he meets the Brigadier very quickly. This story, the TARDIS does not land in England in the 1970s. It lands in Hong Kong on the 30th of July, 1997.
So yes, it's 1997, handover day in Hong Kong. So just a bit of backstory for people who might not know what this is. China are taking back Hong Kong from English colonialism.
Yes.
So basically, China leased Hong Kong to the British for 99 years. And in 1997, the lease ended and it was handed back peacefully by Prince Charles, and basically signified the end of the British Empire.
Yeah, so if I can jump back in with some, like, a bit of contextual history there. So obviously, England's got a bit of a history of colonialism. And here I am wandering around with an accent like this. So England invaded China and basically caused the end for the Chinese dynastic rule in the 19th century. So England owned large swathes of China and large parts of the rest of the world. Interestingly, the English drink tea because the English stole it from the Chinese. So they stole it from the Chinese and then they planted it in India, which they also owned. We are not condoning colonialism in any way, shape, or form, I have to point out here.
Mm-hmm.
Do not condone colonialism. And then, of course, in the 20th century, China got a little thing called communism with Chairman Mao Zedong. My aunt might be listening to this, and she's a Chinese teacher and knows quite a lot of Chinese history, and she's probably looking at Ciarán going, what are you doing? So this is the People's Republic of China, already dissatisfied with English colonialism. They'd gotten rid of the English.
Basically, though, when trying to take back England, they're kind of like, oh, actually, you've done quite a good job
take
with
back
the
Hong Kong.
economy here. So we'll actually just keep all these economic systems in place that you've established.
So when Handover Day happened, so the British Empire had, well, not even the British Empire anymore because they've lost after the Second World War. Hong Kong was basically the only country from their colonial past that they still retained. So I don't think you cannot oversell how important this was. So anyone who was a British citizen living in Hong Kong, they were offered free passage out of Hong Kong and a job and life anywhere else in the Commonwealth. Because if they stayed in China, they were not going to have a good life. The Chinese were going to start reparations. So quite a lot of people went elsewhere. So, for example, this is, I hate to talk about other podcasts on this podcast, but if anyone who listens to us is a fan of No Such Thing as a Fish podcast, the podcaster Dan Schreiber, who is on that, was born in Hong Kong. And his family emigrated to Australia, were given the option to emigrate to Australia. So this story, through this long-winded bit of history here, starts up on the 30th of July. Midnight that night, China takes control again. So
this is a very important backdrop to this story. Like, this writer has taken considerable effort to place this story in a very particular time in history, off the back of very particular historical events that have been altered by the Doctor not being around. So this is probably one of the stories I found that's got the most intricate consideration to every facet of where we are, who is in this story, how it relates to the villains and the history of these villains and their place in the history of this alternate timeline. Like, it's so layered and it's beautiful.
Yeah. So the English people who are living in Hong Kong, they got to get out of there, basically, because all of the systems that are in place are changing over. The police will be replaced by Chinese police. The governments will be replaced by Chinese governments. It is not going to be a good place to be English, or it is not going to be a good place to be a dissident that is not seen well in the eyes of the People's Republic of China, which is what leads us into this story, I suppose.
I do also have an excerpt that I thought maybe you also might like to read, which is from an interview with the writer as well, because I thought it was a very nice I don't think we could say it better than he says it, so I thought it could also be a good way to get a reading back in.
Good, I like that. Thank you. You think about the good, you've been good thinking there. Mind of Evil has a special place in my heart, for good and bad reasons. Good, because it's got people in it speaking real Cantonese and Hokkien, and because the Master is clearly in league with the commies. Bad, because there's a ludicrous brain parasite plot bolted on, with no explanation whatsoever. And because, in an episode written at the height of the Cultural Revolution, when thousands of people were dying in China, the Doctor starts boasting about how chummy he was with Chairman Mao. I also realised that if someone were to pitch Mind of Evil at Big Finish today, they would just laugh at it and show the right of the door. So I decided to revisit the Mind of Evil, bring back Chinese elements, explain just where the Master got the brain parasite from, and maybe allude to the possibility that there have been times when the Doctor has picked the wrong side. So yes, the Cultural Revolution in China, when the communist powers came to power, they, like throughout history, I think it was Alan Bennett said, like, if you want to understand Hitler, look at Henry VIII and the Reformation of the monasteries. If you want to understand Mrs. Thatcher, look at Henry VIII and the Reformation of the monasteries. It is changing the way that people do things and think about things in often very bloody ways.
We'll just add, just for reference. So that reading was from, was conducted by Benjamin Cook for the book Doctor Who: The New Audio Adventures.
Oh, very nice.
An official spokesman for the People's Republic of China denied that today's atomic test in Inner Mongolia was deliberately timed to coincide with the Hong Kong handover. Outgoing Governor Brian Hook commented that it was unseemly for China to behave in such a manner.
The Chinese have already got what they wanted.
Over here, Ling. Hang on. Turn this crap off. Isn't Professor X on?
So, the Doctor lands in 1997. And he runs into the Brigadier. Now, Brigadier Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart is no longer with UNIT because the Doctor wasn't there when he was meant to be. So all of the things that the Doctor should have helped stop, he couldn't.
or unit had to do it on their own, and they did it in a maybe not so
Yeah, and some of the references are absolutely wonderful. So they talk about, so obviously they defeated the Master in Terror of the Autons, but only by purging the country of plastic.
Yeah, and everyone thought that he was Barmy. Like, Barmy Brigadier was like the Daily Telegraph or something headline.
Yep. So they just started purging plastic, and he only won because he purged the daffodils as well, because they were plastic. It was just sheer dumb luck that he stopped that. Some of the things that were stopped. What's interesting is they don't mention the nuclear power station from Inferno, which should have melted down without the Doctor there. But yeah, so they talk about the unit going to war with the Silurians, and they defeat them by traveling back in time on a suicide mission with a bomb.
Yeah, led by Mark Yates, and he gives his life for it.
Yeah, it's very sad. Johnathan Clements actively looks at all of the stories, like, if the Doctor hadn't turned up here, what would have happened? It's like Turn Left.
Yeah.
Turn Left is another really good example of, if the Doctor isn't here, what happens? And so basically it ends up with the Brigadier sad and bitter and alone and owning an English pub in Hong Kong, which they use a very of its time slur. Filth, failed in London, tried Hong Kong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't pick that up when I was listening. That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's it's a real of its time cultural slur.
Yeah.
Because people tended to, in the British Empire, if they couldn't make it work where they were, they went to Hong Kong because of places in the British Empire, it had the most lax security laws.
Yes, I wasn't expecting...
He's filth, Adam, betcha.
Filth?
You in trouble back home?
Well,
What was it, mate? Caught with your hand in the till, were you?
Or down a dress? That could work.
Everyone's on the run from something. Something they'd done.
Or something they didn't do. And we call them filth.
Failed in London,
try Hong Kong.
So yeah, this is where we are. So the Doctor meets the Brigadier. Again, we're going to try and scoot past them because, I mean, although the Doctor is played by David Warner and it's an amazing portrayal and I just love it so much. He's so quiet and restrained. There is in one of his stories, he talks about being a cautious Doctor, and he is a cautious Doctor. He takes everything slowly.
I really liked that. And this is also the original Brigadier actor playing...
Yes, this is Nicholas Courtney. It's not as is played these days by John Culshaw. Yep, it's the original Nicholas Courtney. He even appeared in the Sarah Jane Adventures, was his last Doctor Who TV appearance. So the Doctor and the Brigadier are there. The Doctor's sort of... and the Doctor knows he's in the wrong place. The Doctor knows he was meant to turn up in the 1970s. He says, I got it wrong. I meant to turn up earlier.
Yeah, that's right.
So it is a real sort of hammering home that the Doctor didn't make it.
Yeah. So the great thing is these two go for a walk together. Well, more the Brigadier's trying to get away from the Doctor and doesn't want to speak to him because he remembers meeting two.
Yes.
So he remembers meeting
twice.
Yeah, he remembers meeting the Doctor, so he doesn't want anything to do with him because he always turns up when things go wrong. So he's trying to get away from him.
Well, exactly. The Brigadier and the Doctor didn't become friends until the Doctor spent all his time with UNIT. The second Doctor met the Brigadier during the course of the invasion and the Web of Fear. So they go for a walk. We're presented with two other characters, one called Ling, who the Doctor tries to address in perfect Cantonese, and she says, "I'm from Slough," which is a great joke. Apparently, Johnathan Clements said that was a real encounter, and they were from like Birmingham or something, and he said Slough was funnier. And
Adam.
Yeah, and Adam.
Her boyfriend. Or at least the guy she's fooling around with.
Well, fooling around, I mean, very few Doctor Who stories, audio or otherwise, featured dogging.
Wow. But I mean, so they're
it's
up
my
on...
podcast, so I can say what I like.
They're up on the hill, Adam and Ling, getting down to it. And the Brigadier...
I'm going to put in like a...
and the Brigadier and the Doctor are walking in the streets at night. And suddenly, an invisible plane goes overhead.
Yes. They can hear a plane and they're like, it must be bouncing off the clouds or something. It's a really intelligent conversation that's happening, actually.
Yeah.
I like the way it was. Johnathan Clements' writing in this is just beautiful. It is. Some people talk about writing as a craft, and this is a craft. It is a beautifully assembled piece.
And then the sound design when the plane crashes on the hill is also incredible.
Yes.
The build up and then the absolute destruction of this crash.
So the plane decloaks and it is just a black plane with a single red star. So you know it is from China.
Mm-hmm.
And the pilot manages to crawl his way out, and the doctor and the brigadier find him, and he keeps talking to himself and ranting and raving. They go looking for the passenger, who he says is inside. But Adam and Ling find the passenger, and the passenger is burnt beyond all recognition. And then he regenerates.
Yes. Now, the person that was burnt was Delgado.
It was the Delgado Master, yes.
Which I love. I think that's...
Yep. So we find out very quickly that though the Doctor wasn't here, the Master was. The second Master story is the Mind of Evil. And so the events of the Mind of Evil happen, but without the Doctor to stop it, it carries on. And he ends up defecting to China.
Yeah, I've got it here. So he's actually starts working for the UN first, the Master does. And so basically, through a series of events in China,
yes,
Chairman
Mao,
Chairman Mao the Cultural Revolution has started.
Yes.
And they start tearing down all the monasteries in China.
Yes.
Because that's the old way. That's not the new way for this revolution. It represents China as it was.
Yeah.
So monasteries start getting torn down. And we find out that actually the monasteries in China are guarding something very valuable.
Yep.
It's these brain parasites.
Yep.
These alien parasite things. So because the revolution is destroying them, these parasites are getting free, and the UN send the Master in to deal with the situation because they're getting free. But while he's there, he defects because the Chinese were like, well, if you know how to use these things, we'll fund your experiments.
So these brain parasites make people crazy and violent. So anyway, zipping back to the Master regenerating in the plane.
Yeah.
What I love, and I will put the sound in here, is the regeneration noise. So the most recent regeneration we've had is the TV movie. So they've taken that sound effect, that sound of electricity pulling in and like the sound of swishing air. So it's the same regeneration as was in the movie, which I like. And it's also the first ever regeneration in audio.
Yes, I did read that. That's really awesome.
Because up until this point, regenerations had not really been auditory. They've only really been visual. Nowadays, it's like fire and
the very
light
distinct
and
ringing sound. Yeah.
So the Master regenerates and then immediately kills Adam and steals his clothes. So the Master is walking around in a suit with a Union Jack tie on the night before the handover.
Yes.
Yeah, they wouldn't serve us at the Pig and Whistle. I think it was Adam's Union Jack tie.
No, it wasn't. It was your racist comments.
Oh, I'm not racist. Well, except for the Japs and the Welsh.
Okay, so the Master's out there. And what do we get with the plane crash? We get Unit.
Yes, led by
Colonel Brimacum Wood.
Played by David Tennant.
Yes. So David Tennant was in another studio recording something else. And he went over and they found out that they were doing Doctor Who. And he begged them to let him do Doctor Who. I saw a great clip from the Graham Norton show recently. And David Tennant, Graham Norton says, you say you're like a massive fan and stuff growing up. Do you play it up a bit for the crowd? And David Tennant's like, to be perfectly honest, I probably downplay
it. Amazing. So yeah, we get
He's
him
like us.
Yeah. So we get him playing a completely different character, like, not long before he's the Doctor, but still.
Actually, it's
from this to sneaking into a Big Finish studio to being the Doctor within a few years is impressive.
Within 3 years, that's really quite impressive. So, what do we have here? We've got Unit, led by Colonel Brimacum Wood, who is a twat. He's
getting the job done.
Oh,
No.
he's a shouty soldier. He's a very shouty soldier.
The soldier that the Doctor hates.
Yes.
And basically, they see a monastery on a hill nearby, and he's like, "That's it. That's our headquarters. Get in there." And they're like, "But there's monks in there. It's a religious site." And he's like, "I don't care. Take it over. Get them out of their beds. That's our room now."
Yeah, I mean, he's immediately characterized by the fact that the pilot is in urgent need of medical attention, And the doctor says, look, this guy needs medical attention. And he says, well, it's a good thing you're a doctor, isn't it? Because he's not going anywhere.
Jacobs, that room there is now the comms desk.
It's a monk's dormitory, sir.
Not anymore. Kick them out.
Yes, sir.
Control, this is Wood. Perimeter secure. Still no sign of the magic widget. Over.
So they know, they call him Red Canary. They know the master is out there.
Yeah, they assume he's defecting back. So there's only one parasite left, and it's here in this monastery. So he has to defect back to England to get this last parasite back.
Because well, that's another thing about the Cultural Revolution, isn't it? The party don't want anything to do with these parasites anymore.
Yeah.
They've been the ones that have sated. So like, there's one left, but they just want to get rid of all of them.
So they're actually planning a nuclear test. Well, a quote unquote test. They're actually just going to drop a nuke on all the parasites.
So to bounce back to the Mind of Evil. So the plot of the Mind of Evil, which we will get there at some point, is the master using these brain parasites on criminals to control their brain and turn them into subservient
zombie soldiers.
Zombie soldiers, yeah. So obviously he's been doing that for a long time. So if you can imagine the Cultural Revolution utilizing an army, so that they're called the Curler divisions, which is a wonderful. It's the Chinese. I'm trying to think of what if it was going from Chinese to English, we'd call it the Anglicization. But I'm trying to think of what it is because his name in the Mind of Evil is Emil Keller.
Yes.
So he is called by the Chinese Curler.
And so they've basically filled up their country with law enforcement in all the provinces. Are these?
Yeah.
This division that the Masters created. So
an unquestioning zombie strike force.
Yeah, so they are totally reliant on these things, and now suddenly they're running out of power, and so the Master's got to do something.
So, as the Master says, he's worried that if they no longer have that they'll lose control of them, but also the soldiers will suddenly start to remember all of the horrible things they've been made to do.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do then? And you can imagine what's going to happen.
What are the Curler divisions?
Where have you been? The Chinese have got entire brigades of rehabilitated criminals.
I see. And they're good at what they do?
They're suicidal. They're like zombie soldiers. They had them on the front line right through the Vietnam Wars.
Interesting.
So there's one of these parasites at the monastery where the doctor and the brigadier have been taken. The master manages to fool his way into the monastery, killing several people, as is his wont. The doctor's slowly working it out, isn't he? And as you said, he says it could be one of three people, which means the doctor is admitting that it's probably likely either to be the Rani, the monk, or the master.
Yes, that's what I also took it to mean. And that feeds back into when we were discussing the Lumiat last time, in that the doctor never recognizes the master.
Yeah.
It could be one of three people. I'm not going to say it's most
one
likely
of three psychopaths.
Yeah, I could see the monk doing this.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, look,
maybe not this big of a scope, but he's obviously going to.
The thing about the monk is it's immediate. For him, it's immediate financial gain, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. So finally, we get the doctor and the master face to face.
Yes, and I love the master's first line to the doctor when he finds out it's the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
He says, my old school chum.
Yeah.
And I like that because these two haven't interacted since... I mean, we take all audios into canon, so...
I mean, look...
So it's the Home Guard and it's the Inventor.
Yeah.
It's the last time these two have...
So what I love is you're waiting for it. I mean, I suppose for me, I was waiting for it because we do a podcast about the master. So there's the bit where someone says, but doctor, this, and then it's like, but doctor, this, and then you're waiting for the penny to drop, and you just hear it. It is a beautiful performance. I don't think we've mentioned that this master is played by Mark Gatiss. Mark Gatiss is an amazing writer, actor, director. I love everything he does. He's queer. He's fantastic. He's brilliant. But that wonderful line, it's just he just says, doctor. It's a beautifully dropped line.
Yes. I love how smug and proud this master is. I feel like I really want to compare him to Ainley, but the difference is that Ainley had more of that campy side of him.
Whereas this is sort of syrupy.
Yeah, so that they're very, very close to one another, just slightly changed. That they both have that very smug linguistical way.
Yeah.
Like you can just hear it in their voices.
I expected more from you.
Oh, really?
10 brainwashed soldiers and a couple of dozen monks. Not much of an army.
You're forgetting the Chinese girl.
She's from Slough, actually.
Oh, tragic.
We get a full conversation between the Doctor and the Master. They walk off and have a conversation, and the Master rips into the Doctor.
Oh yeah, he goes off, and I love him for it. Like everything he says, we find out that the Master has been trying to get the Doctor's attention the same way he always has. That's been one of his main goals.
Yeah.
Here.
And so the Master was expecting the Doctor to be there. The Doctor was expecting the Doctor to be there. Something went wrong and the Doctor wasn't there.
Yes. And we also find out that something, it doesn't tell us what, but the Master's TARDIS was placed out of his reach in this.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have his TARDIS, even though we know Delgado had his TARDIS when he arrived on Earth and he used it a lot. But he doesn't...
Someone drive off with the horse box?
Yeah, it was placed out of his reach. I love the vagueness of that.
Yeah.
They don't mention it. So he hasn't had one. So he's just been stuck here trying to get the Doctor to come and find him so they have a TARDIS they can use to get out of there.
Yeah. So he explains about the parasites. But yeah, he goes into the... As I said, David Warner that Doctor has been described as a cautious man. He doesn't get overly emotional. He doesn't jump into things. And I think you very much get the feeling that he does not feel responsible. I wasn't here. I couldn't have known. And that's the end of it for him. Like his guilt and his accountability ends there. And the Master, he starts off by saying, you weren't here for the things that we know that happened in the TV show. So that's one layer. You weren't here for the probe 4 and things, all the things that you should have been here to stop.
There's a line of craters across North America now because of you. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then he dives into real world atrocities and says, what, when were you going to Rwanda? Were you going to go and fix that?
Yeah, and he mentions Cambodia with Pol Pot massacring all the intellectuals.
That is such a wonderful line that I love. Pol Pot killed millions of doctors and not one of them was you.
Yeah.
Is it just such a punch?
Yeah, I also think the punch of because the Doctor talks about helping out the little guy and things like that. And one of the lines he gets in with was where were you? And the tanks were barreling down Tiananmen Square to those students. And it's like, oh God, get him. Fucking get him.
It's like you talk so much about being friends with Mao. It's like, I knew him when he was a librarian. Yeah, you could have stopped him.
Yeah, the Doctor's really dismissive of that line.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't know Mao when he did the bad things. You could have stopped him. Yeah. And it is one of those things where the Master is completely right. Like the Doctor had it within his power to stop those things. I mean, one could argue that the Doctor steps in when something non-terrestrial is involved, or extraterrestrial or subterrestrial or whatever. But yeah, no, I think it is very fair criticism that the Doctor knowingly was friends with someone who ran a ethnic cleansing campaign.
Yeah, it's really awesome when the Master sort of needles into the idea of the Doctor's like, oh, I help people who need it and I help the small guy. And the Master's like, yeah, but you say that you're friends with Mao and that at the time he was okay, but then he was awful and a monster. And doesn't that call into question your judgment of people? How do you know you're helping the right people? What if you're wrong? Because you thought you were right then, but you weren't. You were very, very wrong. And he really needles into it. And the Doctor's really uncomfy and just wants to walk away and be like, I'm so angry. But it's beautiful writing because it's exactly who the Doctor is. I'm so angry that the moment is taken from them by something distracting them. And the Doctor gets an excuse to go what's happening over there? Let's exit the scene to go find out. And you don't get a resolution.
You can't. And I think the reason for that is it's very clear. The Master puts a lot of very good logical points out. And I think in the end, for Doctor Who to work, you have to admit that the Doctor is a flawed character who does not always get it right. And that all he can do is try and act in any situation to his or her moral compass.
Yeah.
And that's all any of us can do. We can't always make the right decision, but so long as the decision that is in front of us, we tackle it with our best, with our moral compass firmly planted.
Yeah.
And of course we're going to make mistakes. And yes, the examples that the Master uses are extreme examples that no one could possibly.
Yeah, I think that this is like the result of, so we're saying as well, I'll call back to our last episode, the Lumiat, in that they never really look at each other was the message we kind of took from that episode, was that they never look inward. They're very external focused. But in this episode, the Master has been stuck here for 20 years in a timeline that is just fucked.
Yeah.
And he's had no TARDIS. He's had to defect to communist China. He's dealing with all this stuff. He's seeing all these things. He's got no way out. He's got no other Time Lords with him. And he is just done.
Yeah.
And he's reached the point where this Master is self-reflective for both of them.
Yes.
And is willing to bring it up and bring it forward and be like, no, this is the reality. I've been dealing with it for 20 years. Where have you been?
Yeah.
You interfere all the time.
I help people.
You help the right sort of people. For all your well-learned politesse, you're just a snob.
That's rich coming from you.
You have no grasp of the big picture. You just turn up and help the little people. You never think of posterity. Why is that?
Because we're all little people, that's why. Because I make a difference where I can with the people around me. I can't change everything, but I can make a difference for the common good.
For whose good?
I think at this point I have to point out that this was re-released last year in a box set with those first 8 stories of Unbound. Go and listen to it if you can, because it is one of the best, like just this episode in particular, and just that one particular monologue that he has is worth the price of entry. It is what Doctor Who, like when Russell T Davies sort of held a glass up to the Doctor in Journey's End, you don't carry weapons, but you create soldiers. Like, this is that writ large.
Yeah.
And I think Doctor Who needs to embrace that. It needs to embrace the fact that the Doctor is flawed. You can't try to be the Doctor without people getting hurt.
Also, massive respect to Mark Gatiss for coming in and just delivering this monologue as his first ever outing of the Master. He's not at the forefront for the first, good half of this audio.
Yeah.
And he just shows up and drops this monologue on us and on the Doctor. And it's just incredible. And it's this Master getting his own identity. Like,
Mark Gatiss is an amazing writer, an amazing actor, and he's also a massive Doctor Who nerd.
Yeah.
He's a huge Doctor Who nerd. And I mean, like, he's written good Doctor Who stories.
He's the inventor of everyone's favorite looms.
What? Okay. No. So, no. He wrote Lung Barrow, which does feature them, but the whole concept was created by Andrew Cartmel, okay? That was I do not want Mark Gatiss being saddled with the saddled with
everyone's favorite looms. Their favorite version of the looms is no, I'm kidding.
So yeah, Lung Barrow is
I just know that you mentioned looms to wind people up. Mission accomplished.
God damn it.
Because I want to know how many listeners also went
if people don't know what we're talking about, go to the fandom page and look up the Cartmel master plan and then just get angry. It's basically the timeless child with more thought. Anyway, I think it's one of those things, right? Anyone who's a massive Doctor Who fan wants to play the Doctor, right? And then there are those of us who go, I'm never going to play the Doctor. I want to play the Master. And I think Mark Gatiss wanted to play the Master, and he plays this more sort of louche, syrupy Master, and he's so popular that he has popped up again. I mean, David Warner's alternate Doctor turned up in the New Adventures of Bernie Summerfield. So did Mark Gatiss's Master. He also turned up in several War Master audios, as well as Masterful.
Yeah, I love these in Masterful. Him and Missy are together in that one, I believe, predominantly.
Yeah, it's I love the line that they use in that. I'm metaphorically from the next universe over sticking my head over the fence.
Didn't he play someone else in the show? He's a few people in the show.
Oh, he plays the Brigadier's grandfather in
That's
the
right.
show. Yes. He's been in the show several times. So he plays Professor Lazarus,
Yes.
Colonel Archibald Hamish Lethbridge Stewart, and he also plays Gavrok, the space Viking with the chess set with the live chess. And he also voices Danny Boy, the pilots in Victory of the Daleks. Danny
Yes.
Boy to the Doctor.
So he gets around, but this has got to be the best outing. Like, and it's his first time. Like, wow.
Yeah. And at the time, it's a very, very young master when you listen to it.
I don't know if you've read anything about it, but Mark Gatiss apparently used to ring the Big Finish productions and leave voice messages for them doing voices in an attempt to get noticed by them.
That would not surprise. So I can tell you some fun. If I just go off on a tangent, if I can tell you some fun stuff about Big Finish when they started. So when they started, they had a big meeting and they called up every writer that they knew, and so like when they got the license to Doctor Who, they called up everyone they knew and they sat down and said, "Look, we have the license to Doctor Who. This is what we want to do." Present at that meeting was Mark Gatiss was there, Russell T Davies was there, and Stephen Moffat was there. Russell T Davies said, "That's great. Love what you're doing. Not really my thing. I'll move on." Stephen Moffat left in a huff because he said he only wanted to do stories with the Eighth Doctor. He only wanted to do new continuing stories. He didn't want to write for any previous Doctors.
Right.
And they said, "Well, no, you can't. You can't just pick and choose that you're only going to do that." And so he left in a huff. So, yeah, so if he had done that, then we might have got the whole some of the mythology that Stephen Moffat entered into the show. We might have got that a bit sooner.
Nice. Jumping back to the Doctor and Master having that conversation together, I love, like, they've gone outside and they're by themselves, and the other two, the Brigadier and the other Brigadier, both the
Brigadier and Colonel Brimacombe Wood.
That's right, Colonel. And so they're listening in, and the Colonel's like, "Oh, they're just shooting the breeze out there. What are they doing?" And I love the ironic nature of David Tennant being the one saying that, as if his Doctor isn't shooting the breeze with the Saxon Master, like, in moments of chaos all the time.
Can you hear them?
Yeah, it's just a boat. They're just shooting the breeze like a pair of old mates.
Why am I not surprised?
Yes.
So yeah, we find out that the Master was trying to get the hell out of there, and so he needs this parasite because the brain parasites are the only things that are able to control the Curler divisions. The brain parasites that he'd been using up until this point were largely full and spent, and so they weren't usable anymore. China had been detonating them in controlled nuclear blasts.
So now he's come to the monastery.
Yeah, he's come to the monastery. So we find out that the monasteries, they used to have them all over the place, but Mao destroyed all of them.
Yep, this one's still got one, and the monks inside chant to keep the evil at bay.
Yes.
But the Master walks in and just it's like, well, I'm having that.
Yeah.
Just open the jar. And
Thank you very much. Yep. And so they now need to get that parasite to the nuclear site so it can be destroyed, which they decide to do by getting all the monks on a bus.
The Master and the Doctor do a deal.
Yeah.
The Doctor comes back inside and it's like, okay, I've done a deal with the Master. We get the parasite. He gets the keys to my TARDIS.
Yes. So they get the bus and they get into town and the Doctor says, "There's my TARDIS over there." And the Master's like, "Oh, what a gaudy exterior. Oh, I hate it." And he walks over and he walks into the Brigadier's pub thinking it's a TARDIS, going, "Where's the controls? Where's the console?"
And a whole bunch of people come in celebrating and start ordering drinks from him.
Yeah.
So
because he's dressed like a waiter.
Yes. And it's amazing. So the name of this pub is the Little England.
Yes.
Because the writer really wanted to either call this or have a line in there somewhere called "There's big trouble in Little England." But he could not bring himself to do such a bad joke. So they used it for the blurb of the CD box set.
Amazing. Amazing.
I just want to say, when they're moving through the crowd, because, everyone's celebrating in the streets, so it's packed everywhere. They're moving through the crowd, And the master says, "Move aside or I shall lay your soul to waste." Thank you.
Yes, I wrote that down too.
Excuse me, madam. Excuse me. Coming through. Coming through.
Stand aside or I shall lay your soul to waste.
Thank you so much.
So the doctor and the brigadier get the parasite into the TARDIS, the real TARDIS, which we learn, unlike the Doctor's TARDIS when he landed in the 1970s, he's lost the ability to time travel, but he's not lost the ability to travel in space. So they get to the TARDIS so they can get to
Mongolia, I believe, is where the site is.
Inner Mongolia, I think they say, which is a good gag. And so they put the parasite out just as the countdown is happening, then get back in the TARDIS. Flashback to Hong Kong. The colonel can't seem to get out of there before midnight. Suddenly, the People's Republic of China, the army start decloaking helicopters in the bay.
Yes, we learn the Kurla division.
Yeah, is on their way.
They're on their way, presumably looking for the one who did this to them.
And the master starts freaking out. And Brimacombe Wood says, what's the big deal? You said it was going to be fine. He said, yes, I said that when I thought I was going to be leaving. And that's where the story cuts from there to the Doctor and the Brigadier have landed on another planet in another solar system.
Yeah, we find out the nuclear blast has fixed the Doctor's TARDIS. It's shaken it loose from its confines or the Time Lords put on it. So now they can go wherever they want. And I was like, good for them.
Well, and that's the thing, isn't it? So this story really really sort of shows the Doctor's morality, or possibly even lack thereof. Because then the Master, we're stuck with these two images of the Doctor going, I'll check back later, maybe. And the Master going, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's probably going to be bad. We're probably all going to die. Once these people start remembering all of the hideous atrocities they've committed, they're going to start committing a few more.
Yeah, and they're going to tear the place apart looking for the Master.
And again, that was another great characterization of the Master, because he genuinely panics. Doctor, don't leave me here, please, Doctor.
Yeah. I mean, and also he's been waiting 20 years for him, and he finally finds him, and the Doctor's just like, yeah, now I leave you behind, because they don't have that relationship.
Yes.
Here.
Well, and also if we'll get around to it one of these days, if we are to assume that Edward Brayshaw's war chief is the Master, as far as this Doctor's concerned, he only saw him 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. That's true.
No. My people would never.
But you think he's one of your people?
I've narrowed the field to just 3 suspects.
This story is a masterpiece.
Yeah, because we haven't even mentioned there is one more layer to this entire story.
Yeah.
The title of it.
Yes, Sympathy for the Devil.
So Johnathan Clements listened to Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones and went, this is the Master's anthem. This is his song. And that's why he named it Sympathy for the Devil. And if you listen throughout the episode, they drop lines from the song within the episode to just build on top. And yeah, go listen to Sympathy for the Devil. And thinking about it as a Master anthem, it 100% is. It's awesome, and I can see why he thought that. So there are lines that just are dropped in and little phrases throughout the entire thing, just a whole nother layer.
Yeah.
Because if he's writing the Master, he's going to add in this headcanon he has.
It is a testament, to the fact that this of all the Unbound stories got basically a complete full series spin-off. You can see why. It is so compelling. David Warner is an amazing Doctor. Mark Gatiss is an amazing Master. Really wonderful. And I mean, it's not Master related, but the sequel to this, so it's episode 8 of the Unbound. It was they did 6 episodes, and then there were 2 stories that they decided to revisit. And so the episode 8 is sort of David Warner and Nicholas Courtney as the Brigadier doing Genesis of the Daleks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wonderful.
So, what should we do first, Doctor?
Top priority is finding some new footwear. These shoes.
What?
They don't fit me at all.
Mark Gatiss is the Master. There's no getting around it. He is.
He's also the first new Master.
Yeah, he would have been.
He predates Jacobi, so
Yeah, absolutely.
Or is McQueen the first new master?
No. This is pre-McQueen.
Okay.
Easy pre-McQueen.
Yep.
This would be the... So at the time, Big Finish, what they were working with was the Decade Master more than anything.
Mhm.
So, which is where the whole concept of like the Decade Master coming back and being against the Seventh Doctor and things like that, and like dust breeding. It's just such a good story. I can't give it enough effusive praise.
Yeah, same here. I listened to this yesterday, and the whole time I was like, the care, the consideration, the layering, the thought, like every piece fits so well. Like, or where were these parasites? How are they on Earth? Okay.
Yeah.
How'd they get disturbed? Oh, well, Mal was destroying a whole bunch of monasteries, so I'll have them be in monasteries. And then, that he needs to defect over to here. And, what historical point can I set it in as a jumping off point? The Hong Kong handover. Like, it just piece by piece by piece all fits together beautifully.
Like, I want more. I want more Unbound for a start. Like, they made the first series, and then they did the Doctor of War series, which was sort of an alternate time war set it started off with a great bouncing off point of like, what if the Fourth Doctor did touch the wires together to kill the Daleks? And it basically starts the time war millennia earlier, which is great. I love it, but I want more anthology single stories.
Yeah.
I mean,
things that don't have to be connected to continuity somewhere.
So the rest of this series, so as I say, we've got what if the Doctor never left Gallifrey? What if the Doctor was never the scientific advisor? What if the Doctor believed that the end justified the means? What if the Valiard won? What if Doctor Who was never made? Which is beautiful, and it's got Derek Jacobi playing this sort of character, sort of Waris Hussein type character, I believe, like living in a nursing home who is haunted by the TV show that he never made. It's really, really good. And I want more of this.
It's a lot of fun.
So I love anthology stuff. I've seen all of Inside Number 9. Lately I've been watching Tales of the Unexpected, which is amazing, and like Hammer House of Horror. I want more Doctor Who anthology stuff. I think it's time. Like, people are always saying, "Oh, I want Tom Hiddleston as a Doctor." Give me a Tom Hiddleston set, like Doctor Who one-off.
Yep.
That's all. That with a show like this, you can do so much, and especially this is the template. Take a moment of Doctor Who history of where it could split off, and this was just perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, were you attending carefully?
I hope so. I adore this story so much.
What does the Master say as he shoots the abbot?
I thought I was attending carefully.
It's a movie quote.
It's a movie.
Taxi driver.
Oh, are you talking to me? No.
I think it's Taxi Driver. Might not be. I'm pretty sure it is.
No, go on.
Meditate on this.
Meditate on this. Jesus Christ.
Abbott, I would tell you to say your prayers, but you've been doing that for long enough.
What?
Meditate on this.
Abbott!
You're going to hate this one. I'm really sorry. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
What tune is the Master whistling at the start of his private conversation with the Doctor?
Three little maids from school are we, filled to the brim with girlish glee.
Yes, that is.
Yes, it's Three Little Maids from the Mikado.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Yes, the Gilbert and Sullivan Society still talk about my yum-yum.
I just thought that this was a really great little choice. Of any tune to pick, pick the one that's from a satire of British colonies.
Yeah, it is. It's beautifully done. I get not a second of audio is wasted in this story.
Yeah. I'm glad you got that one. I was worried.
I heard it, and I heard it, and I'm just like, that's were you attending carefully?
Right, I want a full sweep of the area.
How long was the Master waiting for the Doctor?
20-something years.
Correct, 20 years.
Okay.
Yep.
I've been stuck on this miserable planet for 20 years, and I've done everything in my power to attract your attention. Where were you
Wait
in
a
Tiananmen Square,
minute.
where the tanks rolled in over
You're
the
stuck
masses?
here.
What?
You're stuck here. You've lost your TARDIS.
Well,
You've been waiting for me all this time.
my TARDIS was placed beyond my reach.
You'll get this one. What outfit was the Master wearing?
Oh, he was wearing Adam's clothes, which included a black suit with a Union Jack tie.
Yes. All right. When the Master goes into the Doctor's TARDIS, what Ainley line does he reference?
Oh, I know this one. A new TARDIS at last,
Yes.
which is a reference to Tremas, a new body at last.
Yes, that is correct.
A new TARDIS. At last.
So you just
All
didn't...
but one.
All but one. Yep.
Meditate on this, God.
I love that line. This is he shoots a monk.
Embrace the pain, Abbott. Chalk it up to a new experience.
So what did we learn about this? I mean, this is a Master from another universe, but what can we learn about the Master from this, do you think?
As a through line for other Masters, they will just commit atrocities to get the attention of the Doctor.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I like the comparison to the meddling monk who just meddles.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to commit any atrocities. I'm just going to meddle with stuff. Whereas the Masters are like, I will incite, like, like totalitarian regimes just to get your attention.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we know that Missy was literally just doing that in the last episode we discussed as well. So that is the same.
Yeah.
Given enough time and a push, the Master will absolutely bring the Doctor down. Like, just discard the fun and games and just get to the point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing about the Master, isn't it? Like, the Master does not play by rules. The Doctor does. And so the Master not playing by rules can look at those rules and go, you haven't met them. I'm not the one who has to live up to them. You're the one that has to live up to them, and you haven't.
We learned that this Master doesn't have a TARDIS.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's just one of those plot device things.
Yep. We learned that this Master comes after Delgado.
Yes, so I really like the idea that after the events of the Mind of Evil, the Master defected to China, and it has been the same Master this whole time.
Yeah, he had no reason to regenerate. He was living a comfy life, I suppose. As an aside to the end of the thing, I think the only thing going for the Master at the very end is that he has regenerated, so no one knows his new face.
Yep. Although, admittedly, it is almost midnight in Hong Kong, and he's wearing a Union Jack tie.
He could take the tie off.
It's like in The Doctor Dances, where Rose is like hanging from a barrage balloon wearing a Union Jack top.
We learned that we love this Master.
We love this Master. We love everything about this story.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
And it's funny how unlikable David Tennant is in it.
Yeah.
There's another story called Colditz that he's in as well, that he's even less likable in. But it just goes to show how great an actor he is.
I want a full sweep of the area.
What, again?
Don't you what again me? There is a man somewhere out on this hillside, and none of you idiots can find him. Now, how difficult can it be?
Colonel, it was dark.
Dark? Dark?
Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Zerdin, what is that big shiny thing in the sky?
Helicopter, Colonel.
Not that, over there.
The sun, Colonel.
Thank you. And now the sun is up. It is not dark anymore. And you ought to be able to find your own arse with both hands. Now fan out and bring me Red Canary. Don't make me go there and look for him myself, because I will not be happy. Now move it!
So that is the end of this first series of episodes, which we looked at a different Master every week to sort of get an idea of who this character is very broadly across some of our favorite stories of theirs. But obviously, I hear you say that that's not all the Masters.
No, it's not. Let it not be said I don't have a spreadsheet. I will always talk about my spreadsheet. So yeah, there are lots of other Masters. So we will be looking at, in the future, at some point soon, we will be looking at Unbound Masters, so Masters from other universes. We will be looking at Masters that may or may not be the Master,
Yes.
or Masters that may have been erased by canon.
Or Masters that are only in one story alongside the other Masters, like Parker.
Yes,
So
exactly.
rather than just do Masterful for just him, we'll look at that story in its entirety at some point, include him in that.
Yeah. Well, we kind of have to. I mean,
And there's Academy era, which, Kashai.
yeah. There's the whole Kashai Magnus thing,
Yeah,
because
so-
then you've got to wonder whether or not Edward Brayshaw's War Chief is the Master, which is something that we're going to be addressing this year. I'm not going to say too much about it now, but we've got something big planned for that.
Yes. So we will get to all those other ones. We have them all written down. We know they exist. We just didn't want to highlight them in this first series.
Yeah. This is the main set. I know we put Mark Gatiss in there. But
And Lumiat, but yeah.
And the Lumiat, but I really wanted to do it. But at least we got the Lumiat out of the way.
So we finished all the individual stories. We've looked at this character broadly. And next series, we've decided that we are going to highlight the Master versus...
The Daleks will exterminate the Master! Exterminate! Exterminate! The Cybermen have no master. You will become like us.
Yes, it's going to be absolutely brilliant.
Yes, who is the Doctor's real greatest enemy?
Yes. Face off. That's all for this week's episode of Please Attend Carefully. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that with each episode you come to understand, appreciate, and maybe even obey the Master. Don't forget to follow or subscribe to be updated on new episodes. Amber, how can listeners get in contact with us?
They can email us at pleaseattendcarefully@gmail.com. Send us an ask on Tumblr at pleaseattendcarefully. Follow us on Instagram at pleaseattendcarefully. And you can find out more on our website at pzinner.com.au/shows/attend.
That's right. I've been Ciarán.
And I've been Amber. We leave you with a clue for the next episode.
We hope you'll be tuning in. After all, it can't hurt you to listen, can it?